Hi, this is Michelle with My Traveling Al. This presentation is about Alaska and Alaska cruise tours with Holland America. This is a great opportunity for you to review what is available to you to visit Alaska. If this is something that interests you, please reach out to me because even though there is a lot of information in this presentation, there is more to it and I would love to work through every detail and make sure it is the perfect trip for you. So here we go.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad we have so many people interested in travel. Even if you don't like Alaska or interested, I'm so glad you're here because this is going to help us build our travel group in the community. So thank you. Welcome. Okay, I want to start out by saying who's been to Alaska? Yay, okay. Who has done cruise only? Who has done land? We got 2 people? 3 people. Land only, cruise and land? Cruise and land. Okay. I'm here to try to introduce you all to the land portion. I'm going to talk about all of it in all different ways, but I really want to get this out to the world about the land programs with Holland America because they're fantastic. My husband and I just got back from one at the end of, actually mid-June we ended it, and it was such a great experience. That's why I'm here trying to bring it to everybody because I think everybody should do it, young and old. So here we go. So I put this presentation together this weekend, so let's see how it works out. Welcome to Alaska. So we have 5 reasons to sail with Holland America. They are number 1 in glaciers. Most of their itineraries have at least 1, if not 2, glacier visits on every 7-day voyage. It has the most wilderness to be seen while you're on a cruise or land tour. The land tours come with complimentary tours of Denali, which is huge. If you see the price points that are coming across and you see what's included, you're going to realize what a great value it is with Holland America. They love Alaska. They do. They've been there for 75 years. And they also bring in fresh local seafood on all their ships and in their land restaurants. So like we talked about, they've actually been cruising since 1947, which is a very long time, and they have a really good history. Holland America helped out in World War I. So it goes back really, really far as their history. If you sail on their ships, they actually do their history of their cruise line, which is fascinating. And if you can look it up online, I would suggest doing that. If not, do it on the ship because they will talk about it. The other thing that really intrigues me with Holland America is when you are on all of their sailings, like Panama Canal, at Alaska, I've done both of them, they actually give you the history of the voyage. So if you're going through the Panama Canal, they're actually going to tell you all the history it went up of building it. And for Alaska, they're just going to give you all the ins and outs of what Alaska is. So you're going to have movies in the theaters, talks, like TED Talks. They're going to have those in the theaters as well. It's just very enriching. It's not your normal cruise experience, and that's why Holland America is above a lot of the other lines that go to Alaska because everybody goes to Alaska. So actually I already stepped ahead talking about the enrichment. They have magnificent glacier views. They have the onboard experts, so they're bringing park rangers on board. So when you go into Glacier Bay, every sailing for Holland America goes through Glacier Bay, so Holland America and Princess are the only ones that really have the park passes to get into Glacier Bay. Norwegian has a few, and if you're in a suite, you get complimentary binoculars. Ooh. I thought that was funny, they put that as a highlight. They bring seafood on board. So for instance, they're bringing seafood on board so that you have that fresh fish experience. But also, if you go on an excursion and you catch fish, you can literally bring it on board and they'll fix it for you. So it's that fresh. That's the kind of programs they have. Again, their global fish program is a big deal for them. So there's some more information there about that. I find that their shore excursions, that's what this is about, I feel like they're like a higher level than most cruise lines. You're just going to go to the better spots. It's It's like if you've been on a Disney cruise. If you've ever done a Disney cruise and you do their excursions, like we went to dinner one time on a Disney excursion and they had silver. We were eating with silver. You're not going to get that normally on an excursion, but the level of excursions with Holland tends to be a little bit higher. I don't think you're going to see silver on an Alaska cruise, obviously, but they're just better. And you can see Alaska by different ways: hiking, boats, fishing excursions. There's just a bunch of different ways you can see the wildlife. And again, here's your glaciers. And you don't have to stay on the ship to see the glaciers. You can go hiking, sailing, flight seeing, and dog sledding. There's actually an excursion when you go into the glaciers that you can get off on a separate boat and you can go in and get even closer to the glacier than you can see from the ship, which is really already pretty close. This slide is a really, really important slide. It's in the book I'm going to give you guys so that you can actually take it back with you and take a look at. But what it does is it goes through each month of the Alaska season, which is May through October, and it'll go through the driest weather, warmest weather, most daylight, Glacier Bay open, bird watching, bald eagle, whales, fishing, best bear viewing, northern lights. That's huge for people. Most people want to see the northern lights, which is going to be end of August, September. So the trip I have planned is exactly in that season. So there's two different ways with Holland America that you can see Alaska, and one is with an Alaska cruise, and then there's also the Alaska cruise tour. And I really want to focus on the cruise tour. I think I said that in the beginning because we did this trip at the end of May. And it just opened our eyes. So backstory is we've done 2 Alaska cruises. The first one was with Royal Caribbean, and we finished that one, and we were like, that was awesome, that was great, but it left us wanting more. And then this opportunity for us to get on this land tour became available, and my God, it was fantastic. Like I'm gonna try to tell you how fantastic it was through this presentation, and you'll see at the end because I'm gonna share that with you. But you're going to see a lot more animals, and you're going to be closer to it when you do the land portion. I think that's my video. So here's a short video. So that's a little tidbit. Can you hear me? Yeah. Do I need to use this? No, not really. Let me know if I do, but I'm going to try not to because I talk with my hands. I'm Italian. So I can't talk without it. It's really stopping me. So Holland America does cruise only and land and sea, obviously. They do 7 to 28 day itineraries with the cruise only. They leave from Seattle or Vancouver, and they go to Glacier Bay, which is what you really want in any itinerary that you pick. You definitely want that. And they have prime docking locations in the ports. So if you've ever been to Ketchikan, if you didn't know this, there's Ward Cove. I think it's like 7 miles down the road. Or there's Ketchikan, and you dock right in Ketchikan. Holland does that, Princess does that. I think Carnival does, but it depends. But the big ships that like Royal has and that Norwegian have, they can't dock in the ports real close. So that's why Holland is a good choice for, you want to be close. You want to be able to walk off the ship and go right into town, and that's what they do for you. Alaska Cruise Tours, they do 9 to 18 day itineraries. You're going to see the interior of Alaska, and that's what you're not going to see on a 7-day itinerary. Am I talking with my hands? With the land tours, you're going to see Denali National Park, which is beautiful. It's massive. It's all the animals that you could possibly see are within the park, and it's a safe way to see the animals because you have you on your bus, and they'll take you to them, but they won't let you get hurt. And then on top of Denali, so with Holland America, you can do a cruise and Denali, or you can do a cruise, Denali, and the Yukon. And the Yukon we did Denali and the Yukon, and man, that was fun. So you're going up to the Klondike to where the gold rush was. And that is such it takes you back in time. You're in an old town that hasn't been changed really since the gold rush. It's painted pretty, but it's stone streets, it's boardwalks, it's everything you would expect to see from that time period. They even do some shows there that take you back into that. So you feel like you're there. Like it was funny because like we walked out of our hotel and I'm like standing there going pew 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 because I felt like it was like the West. It was such a neat experience. We spent 2 nights there, but I'll go into that a little bit more as we go along. And with the Yukon tours, you get a tour conductor. So there's literally this person that makes sure you're where you're supposed to be and your luggage is where it's supposed to be. And it literally, she or he, ours was a she made it the best experience because we had to worry about absolutely nothing the entire time. Like, for instance, we had an excursion. We were supposed to meet at 8 o'clock and the person was supposed to pick us up 8:02. We're still sitting there and she saw us. And she's like, aren't you supposed to be on the tour? And we're like, yeah, we're just waiting. She's like, I'll be right back. Person walked right in and got us after that. She knew where we were supposed to be. She knew we weren't there, and she made sure that we got there. And that was so top tier in our minds. It was crazy for us. Okay, so here's the 7-day sailings, and I'll give you the brochures, and all of this is in there, but they do it different ways. It's basically the same thing. They can go northbound, southbound, round trip. So that's the 7-day options.
Do they go to Sitka?
Some of them do, yeah. Actually, I think it's the 14-day ones. I don't think the 7-day. Let's see. Whittier. Oh, it does. There's a 7-day with Sitka. Yeah. Yeah, there's 2. Looks like the Alaska Explorer does that one. So there's the 14-day, and that's just going to take you a little bit deeper into it. It goes to Kodiak, Homer, Valdez, Sitka. There's Sitka on that. A little bit deeper into the ports of Alaska. And then if you really want to get into it, the 28-day Arctic Circle Solstice. And that looks like it takes you to every single port you could possibly get to in Alaska. I haven't heard too much about that one, but that one, I mean, if you have the 30 days to do it, that's the ticket to see everything in Alaska. This is where we're going to start talking a little bit more in depth about the cruise tours. So let me see, I think I have a video next. I think. So with the cruise tours, you get Denali or you get Denali and the Yukon, like we just talked about. One huge factor with Holland America is they own the hotels that you take on the tours, with the exception of maybe your first port. So if you come into Anchorage and you're doing a land tour, you might be staying at a Hilton, a Sheraton, that type of place. Very nice hotels. But from that point on, The McKinley Chalet is owned by Holland America. The Fairbanks Hotel is owned by them. So what that gives you is they have the ability to control every aspect of your trip. That was huge. You didn't, like, they were well maintained, well staffed. And I think that makes a difference because if you've ever been on another tour, you're just showing up at hotels along the way and you don't know, nobody's controlling that except for the hotel owner. With Holland America owning the hotels, it made a huge difference. You could just tell that everything was spot on the way it was supposed to be. We had zero issues for the 12 days we were gone. So that is huge. Sure.
So obviously the hotel is included in the price.
Yes.
Now is all the food you need to eat for free at the hotel if you do on a cruise ship?
No, they aren't. So that's separate. They actually have a food package, and that's something. If you decide this is something you would do, I will tell you the pros and cons about whether or not. I'll explain what about it because it is, to me, it's a little bit expensive. So I can tell you what my thoughts are on that. So you might already know that I didn't do it. But you could, if you're a big eater and you want to try out everything, it probably is a good value. It's like if you ever went to Disney and you got the dining plan, you knew you were paying for it, and sometimes you weren't hungry for it, but it was paid for ahead of time, and you didn't have to worry about it. So that's kind of like that's what you have to think about. For the land tour, you always get a train trip on the Alaska Railroad to Denali. That's how you get to Denali. Get to or from Denali is on the train. It is about a 7 to 8 hour trip depending on which itinerary you take, and it's one of the glass domed cars. And it is, you think you're going to be on a train for 8 hours, and you're like, that's a long time. But man, we at the end of it, we're like, it's over already. We could have had another 4 hours. It was comfortable. They served food. We had breakfast and lunch. We tried it out because we have to, but we had too much food because we did both. But they have bar service, snack service. It's a very comfortable experience. Plenty of legroom, like legroom, like that kind of legroom. So that's part of your Denali experience. And that is always included in a 2 or 3 night Denali stay, and that would be at the McKinley Chalet. Okay, let's see where we can get to. See if I missed anything. Lots of wildlife. They're always talking about the wildlife. There's always wildlife. Yukon. You get Glacier Bay. I think you always get Glacier Bay, and then there's Hubbard Glacier, and then Hubbard Glacier is usually if you get a second glacier, you get a second glacier there. And the cruise tours, they talk about seamless travel between the ship and the lodge. So these tour conductors that you have, literally, they tell you, stand here and I'll pick you up. They take your luggage. They take your luggage everywhere. You never handle your luggage. Like literally, put it outside the door, we'll pick it up, and it just shows up at the door at your next hotel. It's that good. Like at the end of the week, you're like, I don't even know how to do anything anymore because they did it all for me. It's that good of an experience. Okay, so this is all the different tours that you can possibly get with Holland America. And the book will take a book and analyze it because there's so many different things that are included with them. So that's something to look at later. These are the national parks that you could potentially see depending on the tour that you choose. Denali, Glacier Bay, the Kenai Fords, and I'm not really sure too much about this one, Wrangell St. Elias National Park. That's in an area I'm not too familiar with, and I haven't seen it too much. But those are the 4 national parks. And this is a really good video about the experience and the host for the Yukon and a portion of the Denali tours.
There's something cleansing about being in nature, and there's a reset button whenever you come to Denali. My name's Rachel Hall. I am a journey host for Holland America Line. I have been working in and out of Denali National Park for the last 6 years. The park is about the the size of Massachusetts. So just being in a place that is on such a massive scale as Denali National Park, I think it's very humbling. You realize that you're pretty small. My guests can't stop raving about everything that they saw, and they're showing me their photos. So I do see that change in every single one of my groups that come through here. My role as a journey host is to create a seamless journey for my guests. So anything that they need, I am here to help them facilitate that. Everybody ready for the park tour today? I really hope you get to see the mountain. I do very well on one of the journey hosts. I send ahead their room requests. I make sure that their luggage is going to the right place. So luggage tags are a big part of my life. And I'm just here for them. So anything that they need along the way, I'm here to make sure that they have all the information that they need and they have the best possible time that they can.
This is the party. Back here, Party City.
If I get a crib with my kids.
This was really the experience we had.
Holland America Lines, they really are experts in travel, and they've spent so much time here in Alaska. They just have it so streamlined, and the guests get to have a fantastic experience here in the park. What motivates me is that happiness. I want my guests to experience Alaska and to have the best possible time that they can, and I want them to walk away thinking that this is a trip of a lifetime.
Yeah, so that video, it really like pulls at me because we had such a great experience with that. That's what we felt. That our host truly cared about us. She talked to us individually, made sure she knew what our needs were. You could tell she just loved her job, and I've never seen somebody love their job to that level before. It was just fantastic. Our tour group was about 35 people, and we all became pretty close at the end. I mean, there's some people were in the front of the bus and some at the end of the bus, but we all helped each other. It was that camaraderie of a community with the 35 people on our bus that traveled with us for the 7 days, and it was just fun. That's why I'm here sharing. What?
Tell them about the one that we just had at the last cruise.
Oh, that we saw them again? Yeah, so there was a couple on our Alaska tour that we were on the Celebrity Beyond 2 weeks ago, and there they were. they were on our another ship with us. So we actually met up with them because we just had, like, we met people, and here we are continuing those relationships with them. So it was really, really good. We just had a really good time. And that land portion, you wouldn't get that on the ship. You're not going to get that on the 7-day sailing like you are when you have a tight group like that. And nobody had any issues with anybody. Everybody got along. Everybody was just there to help. We had a gentleman that wasn't feeling well one day, and it was like 5 or 6 of us, like, what do you need? What can we get you? We want to make sure you're good. You know, what can we do for you? And that was cool. And yeah, it was good. It was good. So here's a chart about the different ways you can do the land tours. And again, this is all in the books, so I won't spend too much time on it. Let's see where we are. I just don't want to miss any pertinent information, because I'm actually going to get to the point where I show you pictures of us enjoying this trip. In Denali, in addition to all the included excursions, you can also add stuff. So if you want to go kayaking down the Nenana River, you can do that. You can do Jeep tours, 4x4 types of stuff. There's all different things in addition to the stuff that's included, but there's so much already included. Sometimes it's okay to just rest. There's also shows at the McKinley Chalet. They have an amphitheater there that you can sign up for a show, and it's just, we didn't get to do it because we actually took some time off just to chill, but there were lots of people that enjoyed it, and they said it was a great show. So here's your, this is the Alaska Railroad train that you will take. Here's the domed car, and this is the McKinley Chalet. And that's in Denali. You can get upgraded cabins. at Denali, although I don't think you really need it, but if you want that elevated experience, it's there. You can get your, the Taste Alaska program is the local fish that you can get. There's the information about the amphitheater, and they have actual local people singing and putting on shows outside of the venue too, which is included. I'm not sure about this, the artist in residence, because we didn't see that while we were there. And here's the Yukon. So we did the Yukon one, which this was really a highlight. We thought Denali would be our highlight. This ended up being our highlight, but we love both. So don't not go. But this was great. So this is Dawson City, and this is the Gold Rush. So if anybody in here is familiar with the Gold Rush shows, does anybody watch that? There you go. Parker Schnabel was there the day before we were there in Dawson City, so we missed him. So we were like, if you know anything about the Gold Rush show, you should watch it. But this is where gold mining happens. Like we literally went to a gold mine. We got dirt, we went into the creek, and we did the mining. It was fun. It was fun. When you can do that, or you can just enjoy the old town. There's a theater, musical type of thing going on in there, but it's just a cool town to walk through. It's nothing like you ever see anywhere else here. It's just different. On the papers that are on the table, I have put a couple itineraries together, and those came from somebody in the community decided they wanted to go, and they said, let's open it up to the community. They're not here because they don't live here all the time, but we have a few people in the room that are already booked, so that's good. But this is the one that they are choosing to do. It's the 10-day, and this one's the Denali and the 7-day cruise. So that's that, and there's more information coming on that. And then this one is the 14-day that includes the Yukon and Denali. Okay, and then here this is our experience. This is the good stuff. So I'm just gonna start by going through my pictures. Can everybody see pretty well? Because, well, I'm blocking you now. So we flew from Orlando, and we landed in Anchorage, Alaska. And the hotel's in downtown Anchorage, so there's the view of the mountains. Our hotel is the Sheraton, Four Points Sheraton, really nice hotel, really nice accommodations, our view out the window. And right here in the corner is my best friend Kaylin, and she was our tour guide, our journey host. And I cannot tell you how fantastic she was. I've said it many times, but she was awesome. She literally, you get there, she hands you a packet of information, tells you everything you could do that day in Anchorage, tells you what not to do, which is even more important. And then she makes sure you get where you got to get, and that you're comfortable. So that was our day one. Oh yeah, and we ate dinner at the hotel, and this was caribou nacho? Yep. I don't think it's very normal up there to have caribou because they're everywhere. Just like here, they're deer everywhere. So on day two, we got on a bus from the hotel, took the 15-minute ride to the train station right in Anchorage, and got on the Alaska Railway, the McKinley Explorer, in our domed rail car. There's us, and there's the, what are they called? The conductor. He was coming through to say hi to everybody. These are our meals that we had, breakfast and lunch. In the dining cars on the bottom level. You're sitting on the top level with the domed car, and then the bottom level is for dining. And there's not a whole lot of pictures there, but it's just, you're just rolling through the countryside and seeing all of what Alaska is, which is just vastness. It's just vast. It's just a big place. And you just sit there and watch, and you just enjoy that 8-hour relaxation, because you're going to need it. Because this is a full itinerary when you do the Yukon thing, but worth it. Once you finished your 8 hours, you end up at the McKinley Chalet. They take you from the train onto a bus to Denali, and there's the McKinley Chalet in the mountains there. I don't know if you heard. I guess it was probably in July. They had a fire up there. I don't know if anybody heard about that. It was literally right here. It caused havoc for everybody, but it was just on the other side of the river from where we had been. Actually, I have a picture of me, and I'm pretty sure it was the hill right there. But they've recovered. Everything's good. fire went out. So these are the regular standard cabins that you would get. This is a standard room. Very, very nice accommodations. We had zero issues with it. It looked like it had been refurbished recently. All the furniture was new. But it had that old field cabin feel. There's the lobby. And then here's the grounds. Bus stops. So everything's kind of on a hill. So if you're worried about having to get around, they have bus stops and in resort transportation to pick you up and take you to the main areas. Or if you do have a handicap issue, they can get you a cabin that's already up near all the main stuff, so you don't even have to worry about that. The Nanina River, the Nina River runs right behind the cabin. And so, like when you sleep with your window open, you hear the rushing of the water all night. It's really, really cool. This is a little fire pit area. There's a restaurants here. This is where this couple was out singing, just had music playing, and you can just chill there. Restaurants. There's the restaurants. And oh yeah, here's the picture of me with where the fire probably was. Okay, the next day after you arrive in Denali, you do the Tundra Wilderness Tour. And there's the bus. It looks like a school bus, but it does not feel like a school bus. So you don't have to put your legs up to fit in the seat like you did when you were in school. There's the seats. There's regular bus seats put into a school bus that looks old. The buses are made to not harm the environment of Denali. And there's us there. There's the caribou. We saw a grizzly. We actually have a video of it. It was pretty cool. They're really good about getting you close. And the bear was just walking along, but it was really cool to see. We saw one moose the whole time, and I really wanted to see a moose, and he was just running. You saw two. He saw two. But it was running along, so I didn't get a picture of it. So I had to take my moose picture in the gift shop or something. But it's just beautiful. It's kind of hard. It's really hard to put the beauty into a picture because it is so vast. Oh yeah, there's somewhere. Did I put it? That's Denali. So that was our first exposure to Denali. It was almost a full clear view. And if you've ever been to Alaska before and you wanted to go to Denali, they're like, it's rare to see it. Well, it wasn't rare for our trip. So there's number one. Yeah. End of May, beginning of June. I think we're still at the end of May. Yeah, so that time period. Okay, and after our stay in Denali, we moved on to Fairbanks. So this was I think it was 4 hours, probably, about 4 hours from Denali to Fairbanks. There's our second sighting, full view of Denali as we were taking our bus ride off. Our bus driver saw it in his rear view and he screeched, and we pulled off to the side and we all got out and we were able to see the full view of it this time. There was a railroad station we stopped at. So on these long tours, they make many stops for bathrooms. So if you ever have an issue or you think you're going to have an issue, don't have to worry about it. It actually stopped more than I thought we needed to, but it was great because we were able to get out and then stretch our legs and everything. And the buses had bathrooms, so yeah, there was no issue. Then we stopped at Gold Dredge 8, and this was a gold mining experience. They taught you the whole process of gold mining. And then you got to do it yourself. Oh yeah, and we stopped in for lunch in Fairbanks at a creperie place. If you've never been to a creperie place, delicious. So then we got to our Fairbanks hotel, and again, this one is owned by Holland America. You can see very nice accommodations. That's what that's for. And we ate in the hotel restaurant because it's owned by them. It's really good food. So again, you had to pay for your own meal, but it was what you would expect on any tourist. If you went to Disney, probably in line with what you would expect there. And then the next day, we got up, and this tour included a flight from Fairbanks to Dawson, so it was an hour flight. They literally walked they drove us to the airport, which was empty. They put us. This is all the people. That's our group. These were all the people that were in the Fairbanks airport. There's nobody there, so it's a very simple process. You just go through your normal your normal check-in TSA stuff. And we got on, they have a charter plane, so that's their own plane. They seat you, it's not a full plane. And then this 1 hour trip was fascinating because then we saw Denali again. So for the third time in the air, we saw Denali, which I think it's right in there. And then we arrived in Dawson City and we went through customs. So there's the customs trailer in Dawson City, Yukon. Oh, that was just me in the airport taking a picture with him. We didn't see him. Yeah, he stopped. We didn't see a wolf in our time period, so I took a picture in there. Yeah, I know. I'm goofy like that, so. Okay, and then here we are in Dawson City. This is the Westmark in Dawson, owned by Holland America again, so everything is set, everything's good. Little older feel, but it felt like it should feel in the place it was in. And they had really good wings. They had the best wings in the Yukon, so I had to put a picture of that there. So that's the hotel. And this is Dawson City. And look at these old buildings. Like, these are old. This is the real deal. This is permafrost issues. It is. So I'll tell you. So okay, it's permafrost. When you put if you build a building right on top of the land, it heats up, and the permafrost just starts to sink. And that's what happened. These are called the kissing buildings, I think is what they were called. So they sunk. And they kept them to show why they no longer do that. So every building is up on stilts. Even, I don't know, you can tell there's boardwalk. Every sidewalk is actually a boardwalk. So it's lifted above so it doesn't actually melt down below. This is Diamond Tooth Gertie's. It's a show that they put on there. It's $15 to get in for the time you're there. You can go as many times as you want. You can eat there, we did. There's a casino there. It's kind of cool. It takes you back. You go into these places, there's some weirdo people there, but not bad weirdo, but it's people that don't live around civilization type of places. So it was kind of a cool experience. You're meeting different people and seeing different things. That was a cool spot. And over here, I don't know how much I want to say about this, but there's something you can do at the downtown hotel in the, Dawson City, and it has to do with alcohol and getting a certificate for drinking it, should I say? Wow. So there's a story about, what was it? I don't even remember the full story, but that is a toe. That's a toe. Yes. From the weird people? No, from the weird people, no. I can't remember. Tell me, do you remember the full story? Yeah, they put it, so he lost his toe. The guy that ended up having to remove the toe put it in alcohol. It was found years later, and they ended up making it into a drink. And anybody that drinks with the toe, it has to touch your lip. No, you don't. No, because that's a $2,500 fine, which it happened. So, somebody did. If you. It's still the same toe? No. There's many toes. There's donated toes in circulation, ready to be used in case it gets swallowed again. And this was our group, and the people that actually swallowed, or not swallowed, but did touch the toe. And somebody in the back of the room may be on that picture. So it was so much fun. This was our group that we toured with, the 35 people. These are the bunch that decided we're going to go drink toe juice and have a good time and kiss the toe. It was fun. It was really fun. And then the next day, we had another full day in the Yukon, and we ended up adding some excursions. We went and did a gold mining tour that I talked about earlier, where we actually went to the mine. I don't know if I have a picture. So here was our tour guide, Brenda was her name. She was from Argentina. She actually was a miner that she was actually not able to work because of an injury. So she started doing the tours, and she took us right to the mine, and she showed us all the working. They were working it at the time, and then we actually went. We got the dirt. We went with the pans, went into the stream, and we got our own gold. And it was so much fun. It was so much fun. There was a German couple. It was just us and another German couple because we did the early morning tour. So it was just 5 of us out there doing this. It was such a great experience doing that. And then we went, which is called the Midnight Dome. Was this late at like 8 o'clock or something like? It was bright. Yeah, it was late. This takes you on top and you can overlook all of Dawson City and the river. Was that the Yukon River? Yeah, the Yukon River. It's just neat. There's a whole lot of nothing out there, but what you're seeing is awesomeness. I don't know, but they were extra. But the Canadian exchange rate made them not very expensive to do. So it was like a third off actually with that. And day 7 was us leaving Dawson City on a bus. And there's not a whole lot between Dawson City and Whitehorse. So they actually have a venue that they made for lunch so we could stop and have lunch. And it was simple, salads, sandwiches, soups, types of thing, but perfectly perfect for for where we were. Got back on the bus and made it down to Whitehorse. They had games and stuff to play. That's where the tour guide really comes into play because she made the entire day, which could have been boring, not boring at all. Like not at all. Then our arrival in Whitehorse, this is the hotel that we stayed at. It was the Sternwheeler in Whitehorse. We literally got there at like 5:30. We ended up eating dinner at the hotel, which was fantastic again. And we went to bed that night because we were tired. Next morning, you got up, got on the bus again. Then we started seeing things as we get closer to Skagway because we are now on our way to Skagway to get on the ship. There's a place called Carcross. And it was another old town, general store, and just some kind of shopping stuff, bathroom breaks. Then we went and crossed the border into British Columbia and then back into Alaska. And there's our ship at the end of the day. And if you've never been to Skagway, it's beautiful. That's probably one of the prettiest ports. We got to Skagway. It was raining, got on the ship, put our stuff in, and then we had to get back out and go on another train ride. And it's the White Pass and Yukon route summit excursion. And if you've never done this, you need to. This was our second time, and we would probably do it every time we go. It's an N gauge. I think it's an N or H gauge. It's the smaller. It's a narrow gauge train, and it takes you the entire route of the gold miners. So they show you where they traveled to go their trek for gold. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful ride up through the mountains. And then the next day was Glacier Bay. And this was just, so for our Glacier Bay experience, we actually had a medical emergency on board. So we were delayed getting in. However, we did get in. The person was taken by plane to the hospital. And then we obviously didn't hear anything more about that, but we're guessing he or she was okay. But we still made it into Glacier Bay. And one thing that Holland America guarantees you is you'll see a glacier. And if not, they'll give you some money back if you don't get to see a glacier. So I don't think that happens very often, that you don't get to see one. We were fine. We didn't have any issues. We lost a few hours, but that was it. But it's beautiful. They take you right up, they swirl you in, and they take you back out. It's just a great experience. And our next day was Ketchikan, Alaska. And this is where you're docked. This is where I was talking about Ward Cove versus docking in town. That ship is literally right in town, and Creek Street, which is just a few blocks away. And if you're there in August, September, end of August, I guess, is the salmon run. And you will literally see salmon jumping in Creek Street. When we did our first cruise in early August, a couple years ago, we definitely saw the salmon. And then our last day, so we didn't have a 7-day cruise with we had 7 days of land and then 4 nights on the ship. So we just had a few of the ports, and the inside passage was the last day. And this was beautiful, like the stillness of the water of the ship floating through the inside passage was amazing. It was just so silent, except for when there's whales. I was in working at the desk, and I'm like, there's whales. So this was great. Like we got to see everything. But that last day was just very chill going through there. So that was the last day. But here is the ship that we were on. We were on the Holland America Koningsdam, which is a Pinnacle class ship, which is their largest ships that Holland America has, which is 2,650 guests. So the largest ship only has less than 3,000 people, which is really good. I think that's perfect. Their ships are not built for kids. There's no apparatuses. There's no slides. It's literally made for exploring, because that's what that's their deal. Really nice cabins. This was some of the food that we had. The food's really good. This was gluten-free pancakes with some kind of lemon drizzle on it, because my husband and I are both gluten-free. But for them to actually have good gluten-free food, like, yay, because that's rare. And then I won't play this video, but they have, so Holland America is a sponsor of the Pickleball Association, the Professional Pickleball Association. They have really nice courts on their ships. They all do now. And we actually played. So if you go to YouTube, watch their video, because it's funny, because we're not sport people. And I will reference my YouTube channel. So we have an entire series based on our trip. It takes it day by day, and we're almost finished. I think we have one more episode to upload. Yeah, that he's going to do. But it will literally show you video-wise the entire trip that we took. So make sure you go check that out. The full ship tour of the Koningsdam, which was this ship. And then if you are interested in going on the group trip in August, there's the Eurodam that we have on there. It's a sister ship to the one we will be sailing on. So that really will give you an idea of what to expect on that ship. And then I can go through the itinerary a little bit. I don't want to spend too much time unless, do you want to know? What do you, like, so there's the 10-day, we kind of went through it, Denali, and then the 7-day cruise. So you're going to get the train and your 2-night stay in Denali.
That's the trip right here.
That's one of them. So what I did is, so the couple that chose the trip, they wanted to do the 10-day. So I put that together, and then I realized that 7 days that's involved in the 10-day can be done as a cruise only for 7 days, or a 14-day Denali and Yukon. So you could do, what you can do is, if you want to go on any of them, you could choose which one you want. And then everybody at the end of the day will be on that 7-day cruise. So if your neighbor doesn't want to do Yukon, but you do, and you still want to cruise together, you can do it. So it's I found that might be an option for people, so I put it together. That's why I put it together that way. This one's the 14-day. So this trip with the 14-day involves more flights. They actually don't bus you a whole lot. They take you by plane, which gets you there like that. So you're not wasting a whole lot of time on the bus. You may not see as much land-wise, but that's a really good option. And the price point is really good considering all the flights that you have. So something to consider. And then we have the 7-day. Which has, so the 7-day cruise, I'll go through that, is you leave from Whittier, Alaska, which you would fly into Anchorage. You would cruise the Hubbard Glacier and Glacier Bay. Then you stop at Skagway, Juneau, Ketchikan, and then you would follow it out on the Inside Passage. So it is a great itinerary. It hits every single place you want to go on an Alaska cruise. Through the end of October, if you choose to add the Have It All package, which is some specialty dining, shore excursion credit, and the signature beverage package and Wi-Fi. They also will upgrade your beverage package, your Wi-Fi, and include crew appreciation gratuities. So it's huge, because this is $55, but you're getting all of this on top of it. The gratuities is huge. So that is something to consider getting booked. If you want to book it before the end of the month. And then also they're offering through the 24th some extra onboard credit and land money to be spent if you book it through then. And let's see what else. So that is everything about Alaska. Any questions? I know it's a lot. Yes. Yes. Uh-huh.
But it seemed to me that it was price for one person.
Yeah.
Is double the price.
It is. Yeah, for
You have to pay just as if there's two people in the car.
yeah, and they do that because they could easily sell it to somebody for two people. That's the way they do it. There are some lines that are starting to actually branch out and have single person cabins. I don't think I'll check. I don't remember if Holland has it. The Norwegian, we were just talking about this. Norwegian Celebrity's starting to have them, but there's not that many cabins on each ship when they do that. So Norwegian has the most. Celebrity's starting to have more on their newer ships. But I can look into this if it's something you're interested in. We can look into it.
So in the package that you're going to hand us, does it have the pricing?
What I on the paperwork, it has like starting at pricing for balcony cabins. I don't put a lot of pricing out because there's so many different cabin combinations you can. There's like 30 categories, and each one, depending on where you are in the ship, is a different price. So it can't really. It's better for me to sit down with you and say, okay, what are you really looking for? And then we find what's available and actually fit your budget.
So if I look at this, it's a 7-day, that's the one you're talking about, right?
Yeah,
Just a cruise?
just the cruise is the 7-day, yes.
Okay. And so it starts at, for a balcony, $2,500.
Yes,
So for me, it'd be $5,000.
right, exactly, yeah. And that's for a balcony. And then we can talk about whether you need, like I always recommend a balcony, but
I have
if,
to have a balcony.
yeah, okay.
I get seasick.
Okay, so you want the air, yeah. Because
I'm not good at cruising.
yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, so that would be, yes, that would be it. But we can look into single occupancy cabins. I don't remember them saying ever that they have them though. It's never been talked about, so I'm gonna guess they don't. But I can look. Any other questions for anybody?
Question about airfare.
Yes.
Will you assist with that, or
Yeah.
partner who can?
Yeah. So either I make a recommendation and have you. So with the lousiness of the airlines these days, it is almost better to have you book it yourself so that you have full control over that. Because when you call, you can say, I am the customer, I paid for the ticket, fix it. We can, I don't like to book with a consolidator because that's a third party. You're automatically causing trouble when you put that in there. So sometimes you can, like Holland has an air program. If I feel confident enough with it at the time, I can book it through Holland, and then they are in control, and they're going to make sure you're getting there. I personally book for our Alaskas that we've done. We book through Alaska Airlines. I think they're a great airline, and I book direct, and you can modify easily on their app. So I feel like that's a good way. It is, and it's all about you being able to control what you can do. So I will always be there to guide you if that's the route we take. But yeah, I know it sounds, as travel agents, we hate not being able to do the air because we want to be able to do everything for you. But it's like, but you're giving up that control when you do that. So that's kind of where I am with that. That's my honest opinion on it. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Oh, I have two more things. So I just want to put out there because I just put out there. I'm hosting 2 sailings in 2025. This one's a Thanksgiving cruise on Holland America. It's an 11 nights, and it goes to all the fancy St. Martin's, Antigua, St. Thomas, St. Kitts, Dominica, St. Lucia, Half Moon Cay, and round trip from Fort Lauderdale. It's a really good itinerary. I'm going to be hosting it as part of a Distinctive Voyages. It's through my consortium I work under, so I will actually host it on behalf of all the travel agents that book into this group. So I'll be doing that, and then this other one, which I'm pretty stoked about, is this is a New Year's cruise 25-26 on the Celebrity Apex, 7 nights out of Port Canaveral, so it's super close to us. I will again be hosting it. It goes to Key West, Bimini, Grand Cayman, and Perfect Day Coco Cay on Celebrity Apex. If you don't know anything about the newer Celebrity ships, they're fantastic. I just sailed on the Celebrity Beyond. We loved it. Like, we just got off 2 weeks ago. Absolutely loved it. And this is the sister ship to it. And it includes an excursion and a welcome reception, cocktail party with that package. And then me to help you along the way, on top of me already helping you along the way. So I'm going to be going. My mom's booked on it. I have a few family members that are already booked on this one. But this one's great because it's Port Canaveral. It's so easy for us to get right over there and get on a really nice ship.
A couple of things I'd like to add about the Distinctive Voyages program is, one, they have to hit a threshold for the group and inclusions to go forward. The Celebrity has already hit the threshold. The Holland America is still a little bit short. If we don't hit threshold, I won't be hosting it.
I hope it was informative.
However, you will still receive some of the benefits. Sometimes they will keep the short excursion included, or sometimes they will give you onboard credit. I just wanted to put that out there, just so you knew the facts about this program. And this program, there are hundreds of sailings that have these inclusions. They can only be booked through a travel agent like me, and you should, if you're interested in this type of product and the extras that come free to you, because you book through somebody like me, let me know and I can send you some more information about all these sailings that are currently being offered. Thanks for watching. Click subscribe below for more content and to help us grow our channel. Ready for more? Click one of the 2 videos to your right. Ready to book your next trip? Message me at michelle@mytravelingal.com or visit my website at mytravelingal.com. I'm a certified travel advisor with the Travel Institute and an elite cruise counselor with CLIA, the Cruise Line International Association of America.